This is Bike Trails Podcast with Christina and Alan. We hope you enjoy listening. Okay, breaking news. Cycling in the burning heat of a European heat wave is not a fun thing to do.
No, not at all.
No. So yesterday on day 14, I think, of our holiday, and there were some days we didn't cycle, so we're just going by cycling days. We experienced some of the hottest weather I think either one of us has ever experienced. Maybe it was just as hot some years ago in Belgium.
It was not that hot.
Then maybe this is the hottest.
This is the hottest. So cycling in the brutal sun with no shade, where the Wahoo temperature measure device shows 46 degrees and higher, and not getting any shade is not something we've ever experienced. It was very hot in Belgium, but I think this is the hottest summer that we've both experienced in our whole lives. I think in Belgium
we had 40 for a day or two, and only in the most uncovered areas, most shadeless areas.
We had 42 in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But not 46.
Not 48. So, my Wahoo said 48.
So the air I was breathing in yesterday felt like I was in a sauna, but just drier. And it didn't bring any relief anymore.
No.
And it was just, I mean, it's also not recommended from a health standpoint to exert when it's so hot. But I have to say, I did quite well in the last couple of days. But in the last couple of days, we had always shady parts too.
Right.
For instance, when we did that long trip from Salzburg to Passau, we had the last 20 kilometers in the forest, in the shade of the trees. And a breeze was going. And even in the last 2 days, we had some shady areas. Yesterday, the only shady area we had was like
brief.
10 minutes in the forest where we saw all of the helicopters going over us.
I have to say that was a little disconcerting because I remember leaving the lunch. We had lunch in Hippelstein, and then we started going out into our ride, and I could see after a while there was some helicopters. Oh, there goes a helicopter, or oh, look at that, there's a helicopter. And then I was thinking, okay, that helicopter is following us because I'm thinking, all right, that's the same helicopter. Why is it always over us? Do I have some international crimes that I've committed that I'm unaware of? Did we forget to put the thing back in the museum we were holding or something that never happened? I don't know. And so we have this helicopter following us, and then we got into some forested area, and then it was even closer, it was right above us. And then I said, oh wait, there's more helicopters now. There's 3 of them. And then it became clear because the other helicopters were carrying these water balloons underneath them, these giant things of water. And apparently there was some sort of forest fire or training exercise, maybe. I don't know.
No, it was not training, because 35 minutes before that, I heard a massive amount of ambulances.
These are the sirens and stuff.
Yes, the sirens, and they were going there probably. And then I don't know where it actually burned. I read that in Franken yesterday, a couple of things were burning. If it was a forest fire, I don't know, because we didn't smell smoke. There was nothing close around us, but I felt not so well anymore being in that super dry forest area with multiple helicopters above us carrying those huge, big orange plastic reservoirs of water. Yeah. And I was like, I'm happy to be out of that forest. But then when being out of the forest, the heat was so terribly hot that I thought, oh, maybe forest would have been nicer back then. But what can I say? After doing this for, I don't know, almost 3 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes and 50 kilometers, we decided that
It was too much.
it was too much
Yeah.
because we are not professional triathlon, sportsmen and women who must do this for their living to
What do you
earn
mean,
some
we?
money. You and I. You think you are, husband?
I don't know. I haven't really checked.
All of this overestimation of
kidding.
men. Oh, God.
So yeah, we decided in just the right spot because it turns out we were like, wow, this is very, very hot. I think we should like stop and rest for a while. And it turns out we had rolled into this little village directly in front of a train station.
Oh, my God. It was so great.
Thank you, European Public Transport Network.
Yes, it was the greatest thing that I could imagine. And it was so nice that they also had a fountain where I did some Kneipp therapy.
Right in the center of the
Right
fountain,
in the
yes.
center of the fountain. I decided I have to do this now. Otherwise,
But it
I'm
was the
not
perfect
doing
fountain
well.
for that. It had
It
like
was
this
super.
overhead stream that
So
you put
first-
your water on your head and then also on your
First,
feet.
I put my head under the water. I think quite a lot of people walking by, but there was no one walking by because it was too hot. A couple was sitting there, and I
Couple
think
emo
they were
kids, yeah.
looking at me in a weird way because I put off my mountain bike shoes, my helmet. I walked in the fountain, held my head underneath the fountain, and did some Kneipp therapy.
Yeah.
And that was so beautiful. I could feel, I'm doing better now. And it was quite fresh, the water. And then we got on the train, and then I think it was only a 15
Total
minutes.
15-minute ride, even with a change.
Right, it
Yeah.
was so good to do that. I mean, we didn't have to. We changed one time, but it was super easy. So I think both train rides
It
were
was like
7
5 minutes,
minutes.
9 minutes, or something like this.
Yeah. So we saved 17 kilometers that we didn't do anymore, and it was just the right decision.
And arriving into the station was just where we were going. So like it was only 1.1 kilometers from the hotel we were staying at today. And Kamut promised 0 meters of elevation.
And it was true.
And it was true. We just coasted down the thing right to the lake. So that was great. Arrived, checked in. I have a few things to say about the hotels in general, maybe not at the moment, but we got into the lake and everything was fine. And then we enjoyed a nice day, playing cards, eating pizza, drinking beer.
Yes.
Couldn't have been better. I suppose we could have powered through those 17 last, because we did ride 47 kilometers in the brutal sun. And, if it was a normal day, maybe we could have rode, 2 more or 5 more for what a typical 50-kilometer day. But 17 more with no guarantee of shade felt like that was just too much. So all in all, it ended tragedy-free, no organ damage. It's always a plus.
I hope no organs were
heart
injured.
arrhythmias or strokes or anything like this.
I'm very happy,
good.
that this didn't happen because who would have come? All people were captured at the fire.
I know.
So every ambulance was not available. So
Yeah.
I'm happy that we didn't need them.
Exactly. So it turned out really well. And then today was supposed to be our last ride from Brombachsee. Originally, we were going to head south towards Donauwörth and then east towards our home in Ingolstadt. But we decided a few days ago to actually not do that. Let's go north instead to Nürnberg so we can meet up with some friends we haven't seen in a long time. It's about the same distance anyways. But then we realized, let's not make this mistake again. Somehow it's even hotter outside today. I don't know how that is a thing, but
it is a thing because I looked up the weather forecast, and today for this area, it's going to be hotter than yesterday.
Yeah.
And the whole night it was 20 degrees and more.
Yes.
So I was sweating all night, and just imagining that we would get on that bike with no shade doing 60 kilometers in 450 elevation meters, which would be no problem for me at all.
If it was 30.
If it, 30.
Or 25, 28, 30.
Yeah, but this is too much.
Yeah.
This is not fun anymore.
So we will now take that same train, which
in
is
the other direction.
Yes. Well, we do have to climb 10 meters up to the station.
I think that's not a problem.
Okay. And then we go and hang out in Nuremberg today and then do the exact same thing, eat pizza, drink beer, and hang out. And then we will meet our friends later tonight. And then that will end our tour because we are due home the next day. And we'll just take the train from Nuremberg back to Ingolstadt and be home. And then we have, 4 more days off to relax and chill out. And I'm going to dismantle my bike completely. Every piece will come off it because in the last days it developed like a little click, and this bothers me to no end.
I do imagine.
So I will punish this bike by taking everything apart and then putting it back together perfectly. So hopefully this click goes away. I think I know what it is anyway. So a word about the hotels. I normally review the hotels on Booking.com or wherever we book it. I like to review because I think people should know what our experience was, or, I think it's helpful to me when I read the reviews, But it seems to me that the reviews on those sites, it's hard to find really, a review that makes sense. It's either all the way positive or all the way negative. And you're shown different reviews based on, your preferences that they see in the app that you're using. So I will review them on this website at biketrailspodcast.com. Because when we got to the hotel yesterday, we didn't really feel so welcome here. And it was kind of like strange, it was dark and I don't know, it's a very big hotel. And I think the years have not been kind. I mean, it's clean and nice, but I think this hotel was built for a different time. And that's what I wanted to talk about, because I think it goes into what we've seen in the last days. Everywhere is empty.
Yes.
There are no people anywhere.
I wonder,
even on the weekends,
where they hide.
I don't know.
I mean, they must be somewhere, and it's not school holidays here yet, so we cannot say, okay, it's August and everyone has gone.
But that's just people with school children. There's a lot of other people too. There's people in
they
retirement.
are all gone.
Yeah.
So all the villages we saw, almost 90% of them were completely deserted. Mm-hmm. And maybe there were people in their houses, but we didn't see anyone on the streets. Mm-hmm. There was also in most of them no possibility to buy anything, even a supermarket. Yeah, stores were closed.
Big company stores were open. Besides that, not so much.
But there were not so many big company stores. So actually, when I saw a supermarket, I was like, oh, there is a supermarket.
Valhalla.
Yes, super great. So where do all those people in those little villages go? I saw the timetables of the buses. I mean, it's great that there are buses, but there are like 2 buses a day. So, I mean, the €9 ticket is great, but if there are no buses to take, then for those people out in that areas...
There's no mobility.
No, there is no mobility. And you're so right about this. And I was wondering, and here we are in a good infrastructure area. So we had the same problem last year in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, but this is a very rural area, and it's known that over wide parts, nothing comes up. And we've known that before, but here I did not expect it at all. And that started in the Deckendorf, Niederbayern area, and it was the same until we arrived here in Franken.
Because this hotel is situated at the bottom of a really large lake. The lake was created by a dam. It's an artificial lake, and it's huge and it's beautiful, and you can have sailboats, and I don't know, I think you can have power boats out there, maybe to a limited amount of power. And it's just a great place. There's really lots to do. There's hiking paths and cycling paths, and it's a nature paradise, basically. On our side of the lake, there's this large hotel. Just next to us here, there's a huge campground where you can camp or use your RV trailer or whatever they call it, camper. And then on the other side of the lake, there's another campground and holiday homes. But this place is completely empty. There's no rental things open. There's no kiosks at the lake that are open. It's just, I think I counted like 25 people at the beach yesterday.
Yes.
And that was in the good part of the day. And this is not a typical American beach where you have like, I don't know, kilometers of just burning sand. This is a grassy area with a little bit of sand and big trees and shadows that go over the area. So we found a nice shady area to sit in. So I was just wondering about this, and I want to look more into it, because coming to this hotel, it was clear that this was built for this kind of big family vacation. The rooms are supposed to be like this. When we inquired about dinner the other night, it's a 37 euro per person buffet. And I'm thinking, I don't know what you're talking about. What is that? Like, I just want, a sandwich and a couple of beers. Like, where can I get that?
The bistro, by the way, closed at 5.
Yeah, the closed
so
at 5.
So it was not even possible to sit outside after 5
right.
on the really beautiful sea terrace, I have to say.
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah.
We had breakfast on it this morning before the wasps came. And
the wasp attack.
Yeah, wasp attack. But why don't people earn money? This is my question. Yeah. Because we went out to a little pizza kiosk, and many people of that hotel
they had a money printing machine
were there. Yes. So waiting time for pizza was like 30 minutes, because I think everyone in that area, even people living there, I saw people with cars living in that area, coming to that place to get pizza. Hotel, we saw empty pizza
cartons here at the hotel.
Here at the hotel.
I saw a woman walking back from the camp store with 2 bottles of wine.
So
and stuff.
People from that hotel also decided to have dinner here, went to the pizza place and to the campsite market to buy something, because it is not possible to sit outside after 5 to have a beer. I mean, is that normal?
No, I feel like it's what I was saying is I feel like the hotel's purpose, its design, its function, and its culture was created for a time that is no more, where you had multiple generation family vacations all at the same time during the year, and that you had activities that are happening or were supposed to happen for different groups of people. Like, we saw photos of, we have the kids club, and then we have exercise group for the older people.
And I have to say something
like
to that, because there are big schedules hanging down there, and it started with 7:30 to 8:45 morning yoga at the lake. And then I said, oh great, there is yoga in the morning. And then I just asked, because the schedule said, oh, it's going to take place. I just asked to be sure, the guy at the reception, and said, oh, is this taking place tomorrow? And then he said, no.
He gave you an explanation though, right?
No, he didn't. He was not interested yet that I really am disappointed there. He just didn't care. This is not service, He should have said something, maybe the teacher is sick or whatever, or they don't have enough guests to be part in this. I mean, it would have cost 20 euros. I would have paid those 20 euros just to do this at the lake in a little group of people outside, but also not possible. So I saw also the image movie while we were having breakfast, and you were reading all of the internets in the back of the hotel room. And all of that stuff is just fake, because no one here is taking a little bus to a golf course, because there is no one here who would do that. They showed all of the morning yoga classes, not happening. No. I mean, it was just fake. They showed all of the kids doing stuff. SUP rental closed. Boat rental closed, everything closed, the trampoline station closed outside. It's all fake.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised about this, because I don't know what else you would do if you were to come here. So maybe it's one of these vicious cycle things where people know that it isn't happening, so then they don't come here. And then when people come here, there's no possibility to start up these things. I don't know. Or maybe we're completely wrong, and only in August, when we have massive school holidays and everyone is here. I don't know. It's just very strange. And the reason why I thought it was notable is we've seen this repeatedly on our trip, that so much is closed and so many people are missing. I don't know what it's all about.
I do know what it's mainly about. I think that a lot of people went to do something else.
Yeah, probably.
So all of the gastronomy workers, they just changed fields. And I think they now found a field that is corona resistant, so they are not coming back. Yeah. And this is what I searched for it yesterday on SZ Online, and there are articles about it with examples of people that worked in gastronomy before, and they decided to do something completely else, even, second education. Mm-hmm. And they are just not coming back.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty clear.
All of those rentals here are normally owned by someone, and outside things are corona independent. Mm-hmm. more. So why is an SUP place closed when it's almost 40 degrees in the shadow outside? Mm-hmm. This is, I don't know.
Well, it'll be a mystery until we solve it in another episode.
We are not going to do that, but we have to stop now.
Yeah, we have to go. We have to do our thing today. We have to find some happiness in Nuremberg, which we will do. And so this will be the last show in our holiday series. And then we will be back the next time we take a ride or hike or something like that. And please, if you like to, go to biketrailspodcast.com and see us there.
That is very sad, because the last episode also means that our bike holiday, is ending.
It is until the next time, though.
Until the next time. That is a good ending. Bye.